Sir, is anybody saying anything?
All right. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to today's masterclass. We are so excited to have you join us in today's webinar on Remote Work 101, the fastest part to earning in dollars. All right. I know a lot of people are excited about this topic, and we've all been anticipating because, especially as a techie, you actually want to know how to earn in dollars. It's always an exciting prospect that they always tell you to beat inflation. You have to learn how to earn in dollars, especially with compared to the Naira. So we're excited to have you here in today's webinar, and would like to know where you're joining us from. Would like to know where you're joining us from. I'll just be going through the comments. I want to see where you're joining us from. Feel free to tell us where you're joining us from, and we're glad to have you. We're glad to have you here. I'm seeing some names. I'm seeing Peace, Patrick, Adamu. Right, just feel free to use the comment section. Tell us where you're joining us from, as well as share this link to your community members, your friends that has actually been looking for a way to earn in dollars. Tell them there's a webinar that is going on that will actually give them a lead on how to navigate their career in terms of working remotely and earning in dollars. So I'm seeing tech and AI tips from Oyo, Ekene from Ebonyi, Jacob from Nasarawa, Cynthia Benin City, Daba Damun, Medugri. All right, thank you guys for joining. We're excited to have you. Keep joining, keep sharing the link. So many people. I'm seeing Mary from Lagos. I'm seeing Shioma from Anambra. So glad to have you join us in today's webinar. All right, so moving moving forward, we won't take much of your time, but first of all, have to make a welcome Mr. Joseph Bame. He's the Chief of Staff of Cleva. So he's here to briefly talk about our partnership, a Cleva partnership with 3MTT, then we'll go into the masterclass proper. All right, Mr. Joseph, glad to have you here.
All right. Thank you so much, Israel. It's really wonderful to see everyone join us from all over the country. When it comes to the topic today, really, it's quite timely, right? When it talks about you cannot skip a conversation around dollars, and skip Cleva, right? Cleva banking has now become synonymous with dollars, earning in dollars, spending in dollars. And we're incredibly really excited, about today and the session that we're about to have together, and particularly excited about our partnership with 3MTT. We would like to say a very big kudos to the 3MTT team for leading such a transformative national effort. And at Cleva, we are very, very deeply humbled to be part of this journey with you. One thing that we believe in strongly at Cleva is the power of talent. And I think that is something that we share with 3MTT, taking young talent, harnessing them, and creating a pipeline for them to transition into employment. That is something that we are really, really excited about. We believe that the work that you do at 3MTT is very meaningful, and we are so excited to welcome everyone to today's session to really discuss something that is very important: remote work, how to earn in dollars, right? So remote work 101, the fastest path to earning in dollars. And Benjamin is here. Benjamin is, I'm sure, is also very thrilled for this opportunity to share his knowledge and expertise with all of you. And as Chief of Staff of Cleva, I wanted to take this opportunity to welcome you all and to say how excited we are for this partnership and for this engagement with 3MTT. When it comes to building, talent, we are right there with you. At Cleva, we are building really financial infrastructure to help support you. So by giving Nigerian talent the ability to be paid globally, to spend internationally, and scale their digital skills across the globe. And I think today's session is very much aligned with what we are trying to achieve with this partnership. So I would not like to take too much of your time or bore you with too much. Later on, we'll talk a bit more about Cleva and what we are doing. But, get on your phones. I'm sure there's a link that has been pinned. Get onto Cleva and start this journey with us, towards beginning to earn in dollars. So very much excited, Israel, and I'll hand it over to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Joseph, for that brief talk. All right. So before we bring on the speaker, before we bring on Mr. Benjamin to actually take us through the masterclass, I'd like to know how excited you are in the comment section about this masterclass, right? You can actually put on your burst emoji in the comment section. Let's know that you're actually here with us, and let's know you're actually ready to learn from Mr. Benjamin. And also, if you have any question, do well to drop it on the comment section. I'll be going through the comment section and I'll be picking your questions, and it will be answered during the Q&A segment. All right, so before we bring in our speaker, I would just like to give a brief intro about Mr. Benjamin Olamide. All right, he's an email marketing strategist, technical growth expert, and founder. He's a founder and a community builder. Mr. Benjamin Olamide is a Nigerian-born email marketing strategist, technical growth expert, and entrepreneur with a background in mechanical engineering. Right, he has worked with both startups and established companies, building a strong track record in digital marketing, automation, and client relations. Benjamin is the founder and co-founder of a startup focused on bridging the gap between African talent and the global market. His mission is to empower African professionals by creating systems that connect the skills to international opportunities, helping to drive economic growth and global representation. With deep expertise in tools like Hotspot, Zoho CRM, and Airtables, Benjamin designs and executes high-impact email marketing campaigns that generate results. He also leads a thriving community of over 600 active tech and non-tech members, where he mentors and supports African talents to compete globally. Driven by purpose and powered by vision, Benjamin is committed to building a future where African innovation thrives on the world stage. All right, so with your best emoji, as I said, please, let's welcome Mr. Benjamin Olamide as he takes us through the masterclass on the fastest path to earning in dollars. Over to you, Mr. Benjamin.
Thank you so much, Mr. Israel and Mr. Joseph, for this opportunity to share my knowledge on remote work and earning in dollars, and basically working from home, because whenever you say you want to earn in dollars, everybody knows that you're technically working from home. So it's good to be here today. With the partnership with Cleva and 3MTT, I'm very happy to be here today. So I would like to welcome everyone on this call today and say thank you for also attending. And real quick, let's just jump into this conversation we have today. So remote work 101, the fastest part to earning in dollars. Everybody knows that. In 2025, we all know how inflation has been driving the economy really strange, and most people want to find a way to double up their earnings so they can catch up with the economy and be able to afford basic things for themselves. And that is also why I am also working from home, and I am also earning in dollars. So about me, I think Mr. Israel has said some things about me. So I was born in Nigeria, and I am an email marketing specialist, a founder, a co-founder, and I'm currently working on a platform to bridge African talents with clients and companies from different parts of the world, be it America, the UK, and several places. Um, it's currently ongoing, so when it is ready, I would put it out there so people can hear about this, and that's also going to be an opportunity to also earn in dollars. So yeah, what's remote work? Definition of remote work, why remote work is booming globally, why who can become a remote worker, type of remote work, full time, all of these things we're going to talk about today. So from the slide, I don't know if you guys can see the slide. If you guys can see the slide, please drop an emoji. So remote work is a way of working where you don't have to be traditionally in the office. You can do the job from anywhere in your home, your coffee shop, from a different country. You can basically do it at any place or at any time. So all you need is a laptop, a good internet connection, the right tools, and staying connected to your team. It also gives you freedom, flexibility, and access to global jobs. So I remembered when I was told about remote work, and I felt like it was impossible. That how do you get to connect with other people there? And most people were doing like office jobs, and I think it was during the COVID period most people started getting onto remote work, and ever since it's been really interesting because a lot of companies and a lot of people have been taking advantage of remote workers, and getting the best out of them. And also, the remote workers are also getting paid in dollars, and particularly from Nigeria and in Africa as well. Um, Type of remote work. So we have the full-time remote employees. Um, we have the contract base, we have the freelance, we have the gig works, we have the remote internship. So for the full time, you work fixed hours for companies. You're just like it's just like a regular job, where you work from home. I'm currently doing this right now. Um, so it's basically you get paid hourly, and you get to log in the number of times you're able to work for the day, and you report back to them. And I think there's a system for most companies, whatever system they use is being used to do this things, to track the time and to get paid. So the contract base, you're hired to complete a project for a particular set period of time. So like I said, not everybody gets this. And I know a lot of remote workers get contract based work. So the employee can come to meet you and tell you, I have a project for you for 6 months. I would like you to do it. And if you're very good, then we can make it a permanent role. So most of these roles are always um non most of these roles are always non they're always contract based sometimes, and some are not completely contract based. And yeah, there's so much to gain from it. And then we also have the freelance role. You can choose your own clients, the project you can work on, basically. And I think most people in Africa are very used to freelance jobs, and basically from sites like freelancers.com, sites like Upwork, Fiverr. There you can definitely pick who you want to work with. Why do I say this? Because when you want to apply, you choose which one you want to apply for and the kind of clients you want to work with, basically. So for the gig work, I don't really come across this too many times, but a lot of developers and designers come across the gig work. So this is a short one, um, basically on Fiverr and on Upwork too, and TaskRabbit. And there's several platforms to get remote jobs, but not everybody knows how to navigate their way around it sometimes. But the most popular ones are Upwork, freelancers.com, Fiverr, and yeah, those ones. And then remote internship. So many companies now offer virtual internship, especially for students that want real-time experience. Because if there is something I really struggle with when trying to break into the remote world, is getting a real-time experience. A lot of people will tell you, I want to work from home. I want to work from home. Like you, it's quite easy to say, but when you get the job and then you don't know what to do, fine, you've taken classes, you've gotten your certifications, but when it comes to working on the project full time, it's a different case. It's a different ball game. So some companies offer virtual internship. Sorry, virtual internship. Yes, also called remote internship. So virtual internship and um remote internship, and there are companies like that on um LinkedIn. Yeah, I think LinkedIn offers more of that one. So over to the next slide. Why remote work is the fastest way to earn in dollars. Working remotely, this one is quite funny and also interesting at the same time. Working remotely means you can live in Nigeria and still get paid in dollars or euros by companies over there, the US, the UK, Europe, without needing a visa or relocation. You don't need to relocate, you just need to work from the comfort of your home. But you need the tools to do these things. The kind of companies, okay, the kind of pay that goes a long way. Yeah, and with more companies now hiring remote workers, there are more chances to land good roles. Plus, remote work gives you flexible lifestyle when you can earn globally and also travel to wherever you want to. So if you're um needed somewhere, maybe you're currently in Lagos and you're needed in Abuja to do something real quick, or you want to visit your family, it doesn't stop you from working from home and you still get paid because everything is from the comfort of your laptop and your headphones and your good internet, basically. So you could talk to them. You could always have time for your family. Basically, it's very flexible. You could also have time to think about your life because I noticed that same thing about 9 to 5 jobs. Sometimes you're caught in the loop of doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, and you barely have the time to rest and you barely have the time to think about, okay, what steps am I taking next? Um, this is why I really love working remotely. The platform I'm also building, if I was working on site, I would not really have the energy to really do it. I might do it, but it would take me a long time, basically. Um, how to learn the international remote job. This is like the questions everybody asks me most of the time on several social media platforms. How do you land a remote job? I'm so confused. I don't know how to start. It feels like I'm not doing it right. I also felt like that when I started, because I started I think 2 years ago, and but I think way before then I started working remotely for companies outside Nigeria or outside Africa, and it's been beautiful ever since. But most of the time, there are ways to position yourself to land in this remote jobs. So, number one is tailoring your CV for global use, no age, no gender, or local info, because you're trying to attract international jobs. You just need to tailor your CV to what they're asking for. So, if you're a marketer, you need to create a CV for a marketing CV. If you're a virtual assistant, you need to create a virtual assistant CV type. And then if you're a developer or a designer, you also need to do the same. And then you also need to use an ATS friendly format CV. You can go on Google and type ATS friendly format CV. And then the ATS is mainly for the companies in the US, yeah, the US region, and I think sometimes Canada also. It doesn't apply to UK jobs or European jobs sometimes, but UK jobs sometimes. But I think more of the European jobs don't really take ATS. I think they have their own type of CV, and optimizing your LinkedIn, having a good picture, good headline, good summary, um, really helps. with landing a good remote job, because I have seen a couple people, or don't let me say a lot of people, but let me just say a couple of people that were on LinkedIn and they were also looking for international remote job. And all they had to do was optimize their LinkedIn page and put on their LinkedIn page what they did or what they were doing at that time. And they had people coming to them in their DMs or in their message box or in their inbox to ask about how, like, what are, like, the services they rendered, how it could be useful to them. So apply on, okay, add your links to your portfolios and your personal website. So your portfolio is the job, the things you have done in the past. I think most people that want to work remotely or trying to go into the workforce, you need to have a portfolio to show like the things you have done apart from your CV. The portfolio carries a lot, and it carries so much weight because it has the pictogram or the pictures to see or how quality your designs or your work ethics are, like what the things that you've done in the past. Let's us see how it looks like if you really have an idea of what we're looking for. So apply on trusted site, because you could be looking for a remote job and still get scammed. Yeah, a lot of people get scammed. So you don't want to end up in a very dicey situation, because I have always come across scam jobs and people reaching out to me. I still have one recently. I think that was like last week. They reached out to me and say, "Oh, from Meta, that's Facebook," and I noticed that it was a scam job because I did not apply to Facebook to take a job, and they texted me from nowhere that I've gotten a job. I need to show up, and that wasn't real. So people should also look out for scam jobs, and you could also apply to scam jobs and not know. Um, any job that is asking you for your information, like your passport, please, those are scammy jobs. They are not genuine. Any jobs that are also asking for your BVN, your NIN, or they're asking for very in-depth information about yourself, and also they're asking for maybe your passport picture. Do not do it, because they're all just scammy jobs. And then lastly, jobs asking for money. I've always told people most of the things I did to where I got to today were all free. So you apply for these jobs for free, unless you probably want to apply for some on some job site where you have to pay, like Upwork. But anything other than that, like LinkedIn, do not send money to anyone to land a job, please. They've tried to scam me several times, but I do not spend my money because I believe that people get jobs without spending money or sending money to someone. Please do not do that. Um, so be clear about your time zone and availability. So your location also matters. So if you're in Nigeria, I think most people, when they check your profile or they ask you questions, um, where do you live? You tell them you're in Nigeria, and then mostly they ask you, can you work in the American time zone? And you should tell them yes, because I think we're only just 6 hours or 5 hours away from the American time zone, depending on the state in America you're working with. So, and um, the tools you can use working remotely, you need to learn how to use um, tools like Zoom, Slack, Trello, and Notion. These are like common tools in the remote space that people can use. And I currently use Slack, I use Zoom, I use Trello, and I also use Notion. So you need to learn how to use these tools. I was talking to somebody recently. I said the number of tools when you start to work remotely, right? This is one of the reasons why I like working remotely, because it exposes you to so many type of tools. You can work with a company today and they are using something totally different from Slack, Zoom, totally different from Notion, totally different from Trello, and then you have to learn how to use that tool. And it could be challenging at some point, but it kind of exposes you to learning more new software. And if you eventually don't want to work remotely again, you already have a knowledge of vast type of tools, and yeah, that's also very good. And then you also need a good cover letter, and yeah, that shows how you can help the company. Because most cover letters are only just talking about how they are useful to the company, how how the should I say, just explaining what they really do. Because I've seen couple cover letters where people say, "Oh, this is what I do. I have 5 years experience." I don't think most companies are just looking for people with just experience. They want to see what you can bring to the table for them. Because if a company like 3MTT or Cleva puts out an application that they want someone to work for them, you need to show them, if you're going to write a cover letter, you need to show them the reason how you can help the company and why they should hire you, because most people write a lot of generic cover letters. So practical interview questions, you need to practice interview questions and learn global interview styles. There are different ways to go about this one. There's I think everybody knows about AI. You can prompt in ChatGPT to ask questions, and you can brainstorm. You could also use YouTube. So you could also practice interview questions, and join remote communities. Yeah, join communities to also help fast track your journey. Because when I started my journey, I did it alone. Yeah, and it was very daunting. It was hard. It was yeah, it wasn't something I would really want other people to go through, because I was confused. I really did not know what to do. And that was why I created my own community to also show people the way to go about these things. So you need to join remote communities to learn from them. They might not necessarily give you a job, but you could get a job from there. But they show you what you should be doing exactly. And if you follow the steps, whatever community you join, if you follow the steps, you would eventually land a job. So you can also join communities on Slack groups, Discord, and newsletters, and also network with industry experts. I think that's one of the best ways to get remote job, being friends with industry experts, people that have more experience than you, like senior managers. If you're a digital marketing specialist, you need to connect with a lot of senior my marketers. If you're a designer, senior designer. If you're a developer, senior developers, because they have more insight, they have more experience, and they can guide you and then show you what exactly you should be doing. Because a lot of things about remote jobs are positioning. You need to know where to put yourself or the rooms to be in. You don't want to be in the wrong rooms. So you need a lot of um, experience or guidance from industry experts. So we'll move on to the next slide. So the ATS friendly format for the CV, this is how it looks. This is something very simple. This is something very simple. So for the CV, I don't know if people can see my screen. Mr. Israel, I don't know, can they see my screen? Because I'm trying to zoom the.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, you can see
okay.
it.
So this is the ATS type of CV, and it shows you the work experience. This is one of the companies I work with currently. I do marketing automation and email for them. And you tell in your CV, you tell them what you exactly do. So the company that's probably going to employ you next can see like an overview of what you've literally done before. Um, so those are like things I've done in the past. Yeah, and they're all remote roles and all international remote jobs, basically. And then you also need to put in summary what you can do and bring to the table. But this is not the full list because my experience is a lot. So, but this is what the ATS CV looks like. The simple one, And if you're still confused, you can go on YouTube or TikTok. I think, yeah, you can go on the career side of TikTok and search for them. But if you're trying to apply for European jobs, like jobs from, let's say, France, Romania, Czechs, because I think some people would say, how do you get jobs from countries like that? Yes, they also post job openings from countries like Croatia, Wales, yeah, countries like that. They also have their own formats. So this is how some of their stuff looks like, their CV, because they have different types and formats. They call it the Europass CV. So I both have the Europass CV and then the normal ATS CV. So I have the both. So you can go and search Europass and you would find templates to use and you can fill in your information. So optimizing your Upwork and LinkedIn profile, because why do I say Upwork? Because there's some jobs on Upwork that specifically tells you it's a full-time role, and they would also tell you if it's a fixed contract. So a lot of full-time roles are paid hourly in dollars, where you have to log in the number of time you work in a day. And that is one of the best jobs you can get on the internet, working hourly. Fixed jobs are good, but you also want to work hourly because a lot of people take advantage of people doing fixed contracts. So yeah, using a clear professional picture, um, writing a catchy keyword rich headline. So from the example here from my profile, if you guys can see it, I use the technical digital email marketing specialist. Use the keywords in the field that you're currently in. Basically, if you're a project manager, you need to put it there. And when you look at my experience, I do have experience in all these things. I've taken classes, I've gotten certified in this field, so I could also put it there. So most of the companies and clients see that, okay, I am really ready to take the job, or I really have the type of skills or they're looking for. So create a strong about section. So there's an about section on LinkedIn where you talk about yourself. You can go on ChatGPT to generate that if ChatGPT knows a bit about yourself, and you can tell ChatGPT about yourself and tell ChatGPT to create you a strong about section for yourself for LinkedIn. List relevant work experience with results. Yeah, you also need to do that. There's a section on LinkedIn that talks about your experience. You need to show the results, screenshots from the previous work you've done. But if you sign an NDA, please don't do that. There's a lot of jobs where you sign NDAs. But you can just put what you've done in the experience section. So LinkedIn is more like an online portfolio and an online CV, but you still also need to have your CV. But LinkedIn is like a social media platform that has your CV and like the experience or whatever you've done before. So showcase your CV and portfolio also on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn has a link for your portfolio for people to also book a quick meeting with you. And then you can also turn on open to work. So when you are turning on this open to work, please do not turn it on to just everyone. Just turn it on to hiring managers, people that love to hire people. So they are the one who would see that you're open to work, and not just everyone seeing that you're open to work. Because why do they say this? When you put the open to work around your profile, it shows some sort of desperation. So you just want it to just be to people that have the hiring profile. And if they see that your profile is good for them, they would reach out to you. And then for Upwork, you also need to optimize your profile. So you can have two different profiles, or sorry, three different profiles on Upwork. You can have the main profile, you can have the um, other type of jobs you can do or other type of skills that you can do. You can have them here. And Yeah, that's it basically. And we'll move on to the next slide. So where to find the remote jobs? You can find the remote jobs on We Work Remotely, Remote OK, Flex Jobs, freelancers.com, Remotive, Contra, Upwork. You can find remote jobs, not just freelancing jobs on Upwork. Like I said, they're full-time roles. All you just need to do is go through the jobs and see what they're asking for, right? So most of the time, always check the jobs you're applying to. Turing, TopTal, LinkedIn, Indeed. A lot of people actually sleep on LinkedIn. And why do I say that? Because LinkedIn can basically change your life because it did for me. It can also change your life because once you go on LinkedIn, you tend to use a lot of people tend to use LinkedIn as a job board because LinkedIn has more opportunity than all of these job sites here. They have more opportunities. Why? Because LinkedIn is the home to everybody, every companies. LinkedIn has 5 billion plus people and millions of companies on LinkedIn. So you have a very large pool of opportunities if you know how to use the platform. So, but the problem about LinkedIn is a lot of people get lost in the system when you get there. It's a very sad one because most people just go on LinkedIn and they just apply for the jobs and oh, I'm getting rejected, I can't get the job. Most times, some companies want to see what you're really doing off applying for jobs. They want to see your profile, they want to see the kind of personality you have. Some companies don't even apply just because of your exposure. Some want to see the kind of person you are. Some are employing you for your personality, how effective you can be, how well you can communicate. Because most people have the skill but don't know how to talk and do not have the personality. So using LinkedIn is a very big place and a very huge opportunity for you. And then also Indeed has also been here for a while. You can also find jobs on Indeed and LinkedIn. But I would really suggest you use Upwork, LinkedIn, Indeed. And one of the ways to go about applying for the jobs is checking for the names of the companies of the job you are trying to apply for. And you can apply either by going directly to the company's website and see if the job opening is there. You can apply directly to them or apply through LinkedIn, or you reach out to somebody that works in the company. That is one of the fastest way to get attention or to get yourself a quick interview by reaching out to people that works that work currently in the companies because I've done it several times and it has worked. You just check the job description. You can also apply, but I think you would also get more chances if you reach out to the company directly. And then also on LinkedIn, try to build relationship. It's a social media platform for professionals. LinkedIn is a social media platform for professionals. LinkedIn is also a place to build your brand. LinkedIn is also a place to build your brand. Companies would reach out to you over and over again. People will reach out to you over and over again. If your LinkedIn is optimized, if your LinkedIn is active, you would always get a lot of opportunities. But the key word is optimizing your profile. So these are the job sites where you can find remote jobs globally. So tools and resources for remote job seekers. So to learn some certain skills to update yourself, you need LinkedIn learning because if you want to work remotely, like I said earlier, you need to know how to use several tools. And especially if you're going to work for American companies, you need to know so many type of tools. Like there is so many CRMs, there's so many type of programming languages you need to know, and you could also niche down. But basically, you need to know how to use several type of tools, and there's so many places where you can learn how to use those tools. You could use Coursera, you could use LinkedIn Learning, You could also learn on YouTube how to use Canva, Grammarly for cover letter editing, Clockify for tracking times. These are like tools that you need to survive as a remote worker. Notion for project tracking. Um, yeah, these are the things that you need to have or resources to have as a remote worker. And you would also need to get more tools. I don't think this is everything, because we keep having new tools every day and every time. So there will always be needs for you to upskill to learn how to use a new tool. Because currently as an email marketer, right, I get to use the popular tools like Klaviyo, MailChimp, but due to the expenses that is being spent on MailChimp and Klaviyo, a lot of company have started looking for small, um, should I say, platforms or softwares to use for their companies or their businesses. So you also need to learn how to use that tool because they're quite, even if they're going to do the same job, they kind of have the a different outface or outlook, and they don't look the same. So you still need to learn how to use them, how to configure them, how to design on this platform, how to use them effectively. So those are the tools you need to know how to use. And tips to writing a proper letter that sells. So personalize the letter, address the company by name if possible, mention the hiring manager's name. So that shows that you've done your research about the company, right? So you don't just want to sell yourself alone. You've done research on the company whenever you're trying to write a cover letter. I like your understanding to the company's needs and show that you've researched the company and explain how you can solve their challenges, right? We've talked about this earlier. You need to um, understand what the company is looking for and also show that you've done your research about the company and explain how you can solve that problem. Emphasize on your remote work skills, like the tools that you can use and demonstrate how you can use them. Keep it concise and short. Limit your letters to 3 to 4 paragraphs for clarity and impact. Focus on achievements, share results from previous role, show how you've added value and how you would do the same for them. I think I remembered one time I wrote how much I made for the previous company I worked with. And in no time, I got a reply to jump on an interview and I got the job. So sometimes you also want to put the achievement, the things you were able to do for the previous company you worked for. If you were able to make them $1,000, $10,000 over time, you also need to state it there because it gives you more chance, or should I say, more opportunity to get into the interview stage and possibly get the job. So, um, end with confidence, wrap up with a strong, optimistic statement like, I'm excited about the opportunities to bring my skills to your team to contribute to the company's success. So please do not write with just an AI. And if you're going to write your cover letters with AI, please check everything the AI is going to write because you don't want to come off as somebody who is not creative or who cannot write a simple cover letter. So I would ask you to prompt your stuff very well because everybody's probably using AI at this point. But you need to know. So the last one is include a call to action. So inviting them to contact you, such as I'll be looking forward to having a discussion on how my skill can benefit your team, or thank you for considering my application. So yeah, it's just a very subtle way to end your cover letter that shows that you would be expecting them. So those are tips to help you write a proper cover letter that sells. Um, so the next one is networking, a shortcut to remote job opportunities. So we have the conventional way and the non-conventional way of getting remote jobs. So many remote jobs are not advertised. People get them through referrals, networking. Um, so networking helps you stay visible and build relationship that open doors. Reason why I said this is because referrals and networking have helped me um to get opportunities from countries outside Nigeria, like the US and the UK. And I've also been paid in pounds and in dollars, basically. So being active on LinkedIn, um, Twitter, now we call it X, and you can also comment, post, message people in your field on LinkedIn and on Twitter. That is X, and join remote work or tech communities, attend webinars, and engage in group chats. So why do I say tech communities? I think I've explained it previously. Why you need to join tech communities because they have more insight and then they've been there before. They've made the money that you're looking forward to earn, and they can tell you what to do if you're also looking forward to landing something. And then there are several type of webinars um, you can attend. There's so many webinars on LinkedIn that I attend and I connect with them. And then I also go to their DMs and reach out to them to say hi. So basically, networking and building relationship with people online can also get you a job. Without even going to the interview stage, you can just get the job straight up and start work. So networking is one of the unconventional way to get jobs. And the more people know about you, the more likely they'll recommend you. I don't want to go into deep details, but I have gotten a lot of people on LinkedIn reached out to me, and I've also created relationship with so many people, and a lot of people are also willing to refer me to their friends or business owners or companies that need talent like myself. So you need to build relationship with people and also build your presence online. So you have to be active on places like LinkedIn and X, which is called Twitter. Um, so other ways to get remote jobs beyond LinkedIn and Upwork. We have cold pitching, which is reaching out to companies or founders directly with a tailored pitch. So basically selling yourself to people with cold DMs and cold emailing. So you can send a direct DM to people on LinkedIn. And this is one beautiful thing about LinkedIn. You don't need to know the people before you text them. That is what we call cold DMs or cold emails. You can get their emails on LinkedIn. Yes. So code pitching, you can also get jobs from that. The company's career pages, going to the company's pages to see if they have a job opening, and you can apply to them directly. Tech communities like joining Slack, Discord, Facebook groups. These are where you can find remote jobs and remote gigs that are being shared. Online courses with job boards, platforms like ALX and Coursera and entry levels and stuff like that. Voluntary internship. Yes, you can also volunteer yourself because I've done it before. It opens doors to referrals and also opportunities. So most of these virtual internships and volunteering jobs, at the end of the whole section or the whole duration of the job, you're going to be referred to other people. I think most people doing internship, they should always ask for referrals to companies or to people around them because you're more likely to get jobs because you've worked for a certain type of people. Because I've gotten opportunities through volunteering and also virtual internship. So referrals, tell friends, tell mentors, online connections that you're job wanting. Reason why I say this is because there's this popular saying that a closed mouth is a closed destiny. So if you don't talk to people, nobody would know that you need a job. Nobody would know that you need a remote job. You need to talk to people if you want a job. Like I said, you need to talk to people that you want a job. When I wanted to start my remote work journey, I started with my contacts and the people that I knew that we're experts or that we're business owners. And I started from there. I did a couple projects and I got paid, even if it was very small. And then I scaled up from there. I started reaching out to online communities, going on X Spaces, reaching out to people basically. Those are ways you can get opportunities. Like I said, always talk to people, tell friends, talk to mentors, online communities, and yeah, tell them that you're looking for a job or tell them what you can do for them. Because some companies don't even know that they need such talents or such people until you tell them and show them how it could be of help to them and then help them save money. Because a lot of businesses lately want to save money and then show them how you can save, help them save money um, if they employ you. Um, that's one thing you can also do. So on to the next. What to remember. Remote work is open to anyone with marketable digital skill. So when we mean digital skill, basically marketing skill, sales skill. If you're somebody who can sell, you can also get jobs that are into sales, and you can work for companies abroad in America and the UK, um, doing tech sales or doing remote sales, and then like programming, designs. There's several skills up to virtual assistants. Yeah, there's a lot of them. I can't remember everything now, but there's a lot of digital skills that you can sell to people. But you need to use all these platforms that we've spoken about because people make money from there every day. Currently, somebody is probably sealing up a deal right now, and I cannot go into so much details um, about that, but people are really making money from that. So start small, stay consistent, and build your profile. Start small. You can't start today and then tomorrow you're earning in dollars. Not everybody is going to have that opportunity. Some would get that opportunity, but you need to stay consistent so you can build your brand. Um, Not everybody would trust a random stranger to do your job for them online. So you need to build your profile and also make people trust you by also building your brand and sharing your testimonials and sharing to people that, oh, this is what this person had to say about the job I did for them. So learn, apply, connect, and repeat. Learn, apply, connect, and repeat. So you keep learning, you apply for jobs, you connect with people, and then you repeat the same thing. If you do this thing for 3 months or 6 months, you should be able to learn something with the same thing I've told you about. Learn, connect, basically connect with people, apply, um, repeat the same procedures. So you don't need to leave Nigeria to earn in dollars. You don't need to leave Nigeria to earn in dollars. I know somebody currently that makes $40 per hour from home in Nigeria. And I know someone that earns $30 per hour from home in Nigeria. I can't tell you how much I earn, but yeah, people make serious amount of money and they don't stress themselves. They just do the job and get paid. And they've got like really, really interesting portfolios. But all of the things I've mentioned on this webinar today are the things they're currently doing. And you just need to also take advantage of that and build a profile for yourself and start earning in dollars. So I would move over to Mr. Joseph to tell us about how we can receive the funds after working remotely, because that's one major issue I also faced when I wanted to work remotely, because you don't want to work for free. You want to work and get paid in dollars. And how can you receive this money? That's where Mr. Joseph would come in. So, Mr. Joseph, over to you, man.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Benjamin, for the session. Just reflecting, I mean, I hope people are really taking notes because I am. I've been taking a lot of notes. A lot of the points that you've made are points that I can, definitely relate with in terms of my career and how I even landed the opportunity I have today, right? A lot of people are on this session and they are probably thinking, oh my goodness, this is daunting. How do I do this? It's tough. yes, it is tough. But there's definitely no reason why you should go at it alone. One of the things that I often advise people to do is really reaching out on LinkedIn to people. What you learn is that people enjoy talking about themselves. So if you see a company that you're very much interested in, go to LinkedIn, go to that company, click on people. All the people who work there are going to show up. Look for the person who you want to reach out to. Send them a nice message. I'm very excited about the work you're doing at XYZ company. And I'd like to learn more. I'd like to talk to you to learn more. And what you would find is that that is usually an opening for you to be able to have a quick conversation with someone, engage them. And through that, I've found that you find opportunities that are not even advertised. A lot of these opportunities are never advertised. I can tell you that my role at Cleva was never advertised. Other opportunities that I had were roles that were never advertised. Why? Because when you're active on LinkedIn, you reach out to people, you engage in conversation, you have the things that Benjamin has talked about. You tailor your CV. You find that people, Benjamin, will send one CV to 20 jobs, 30 jobs. It doesn't work. You cannot send one CV to 20, 30 jobs when the job description is what? Different. People will go and generate some kind of generic response on cover letter. You saw Benjamin's CV when he shared it. He said, I have so many experiences, but these are the ones that I've decided to put here because those are the ones that are relevant for that job. You find that a lot of young people have 3 pages, 4 pages CV. And then we have CEOs that have 1 page. However long your experiences have been, you can keep it in 1 page and keep it crisp and simple. So that is what, sort of I wanted to also share and reflect and say that don't think about the difficulties of it. Think about how easy and how you can start today. If you start today, the incremental changes, you start reaching out to LinkedIn, people that you are interested in, you send requests to people to connect, you acknowledge their acceptance of your request, you engage them and say you want to chat. A lot of people, like you may reach out to 50 people and you may get 2 conversations, but those 2 conversations may lead to your next big breakthrough and your next big opportunity. So that is what I wanted to share before I talk about, Cleva. So I think a number of you have already heard about Cleva, through some of the previous engagements we've had with 3MTT, or you've seen our ads online. But just to tell you sort of a little bit about us, we are a fintech company that was created specifically for freelancers, remote workers, African creatives, people in the gig economy. And we really facilitate being able to receive your money, right? A lot of people work for foreign companies and they think, oh, I'm based out of Nigeria, I'm based out of Ghana, I'm based out of South Africa. How do I receive my money? It's a very, very big challenge with people working so hard and then they struggle to get their money. Cleva was started out of this idea that we want to really make that process seamless for you. So what do we help you do? We help you get a personalized USD account in your name. So this is a US-based USD account that is in your name. So it's not in your uncle's name or it's not in your sibling's name, it's in your name. And you can use that to receive your payments. People will say, oh yeah, like I'm based in Nigeria. Why? Like it must be very difficult for me to get approved for a US account. No, in terms of getting this done, it's actually quite straightforward. Number of you who already have Clever accounts will say that the process was quite seamless and straightforward. You only need your BVN and an ID and some kind of identification. And once you put that into the system, again, the link is there, right there in the YouTube live stream. You can be able to pick it up from there. You get through the process, very few clicks, you have your USD account and you're ready to transact. One of our biggest offerings is being able to offer you great exchange rates. We all know that the exchange rate is very important. Sometimes you can receive your dollar, and then when you are paying out to yourself in your bank account, the rate is not that good. And we know that the rates matter to you. So we work extra hard to ensure that you get some of the best rates on our platform. You can receive your money from a number of different channels, ACH payments. You can receive payments from PayPal, from Upwork, Payoneer. Those are all platforms for gig workers, remote workers, for freelancers, and we help facilitate you being able to receive that. You can get wire transfers, or US bank accounts can send you money into your Clever accounts as well. You can also send and receive money directly using Clever tax. So if you are a Clever account holder, you can send money to another Clever account holder using C2C tax, and it's very seamless. One thing that I think is very critical on this slide that I need to emphasize is our capped fees. Of course, we have some fees, but those fees are capped. What that means is that no matter the amount that you receive, in terms of on our platform, that is within the limits that we've set. You have capped fees, which in this case is $20, but mostly within that 0.8% range. But the fees are capped. So there's always a limit to how much you can be charged on the platform. And again, just to reiterate, when you sign up using your 3MTT link, your first amount that you receive on the platform, these fees are waived for you. So make sure that when you download the app and you're going through the process, you use 3MTT as your referral code, or when you're using the referral link that is in the YouTube feed, you make sure to mention 3MTT as the referrer, so that you can get your first fee waived for you and be able to transact. Benjamin, can we move to the next? Yeah, and very quickly before we move on to the Q&A as well, you're probably wondering, okay, I've received my USD, what can I do with it? When you receive your USD, of course, you can keep it on the platform and keep your money in USD so that you can hedge yourself against any kind of currency fluctuation. Or you can also send some of that money to yourself, to your NGN account. So you can pay out to yourself in your NGN account, use some of that money for whatever you want. You can pay out everything that you receive, or you can pay out some. It's really up to you. The other piece as well is that you can sign up for a virtual card on Clever and be able to pay for subscriptions, make payments online, and facilitate that seamless, transaction on the web. So you're probably thinking, oh man, I have to make payments in dollars. How do I, sort of do that? You can use your Clever card, which is a dollar card, to be able to do that. But you're also probably on this webinar thinking, oh my goodness, I don't have a current opportunity to receive USD, but how can I also save or keep my money in USD? We still have a product for you. You can be able to fund your account using Naira. So we have an NGN, account product, which you can top up your NGN account with Naira and convert it instantly to USD. And then you can use that USD, of course, to start transacting through a virtual dollar card, or you can just keep your money there. Maybe you just want to keep your money in dollars, and when the currency, devalues, you can, have a bit more. That is completely up to you. So that's all, about Clever. We are constantly releasing new features, and I highly encourage you all to get on that link, use 3MTT as your referrer, and start transacting. And we hope that this session that we are having today would be able to pick an interest to start, at least believing that it is possible. A lot of us believed very long ago that it was possible, and we started taking action, and today we are reaping the benefit of that. And so I hope that you all believe that it is possible and don't think so much about the difficulties of starting. At least start. And when you start today, maybe, 6 months down the line, 1 year down the line, you have some good news to share, and you start transacting on Clever. So I'll pause there, hand over to Israel, and for the Q&A session. Thank you all so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Benjamin. Thank you, Mr. Joseph. There's been an excitement in the comment section. A lot of people are so excited about this session, and a lot of people are showing how appreciative they are this session. Like you can see comments like, I never knew LinkedIn was a gold mine. I was sleeping on it. Thank you, Mr. Benjamin, for talking about that. And we also seen comments of people talking about how easy it was for them to navigate through the Cleva. All right, so talking about the Cleva app, I think there have been a few questions concerning that, and which I want to um, um, ask Mr. Joseph about that briefly before we go into asking other few questions. Yeah, a lot of questions anyways, but we have to streamline them. All right, so many questions about KYC. All right, some people are trying to understand what that is, and but specifically, there are some people that said they've registered, but their KYC keep being denied. What's the next stage once their KYC is denied? Mr. Joseph, if you can help with that.
Yes. Just to talk a little bit about that, as a regulated entity, we have very stringent requirements, around who can get on the platform. Any good product that can be a source of, good can also be a source of evil. Can also be manipulated in some ways. So, we've our KYC process, quite frankly, is straightforward. If you have your BVN, you have an ID, you submit that, and we do our checks, everything aligns. You're likely to get approval. As you are aware, we don't just have regulatory requirements from the federal bank. We also have requirements from the US. So we are being kicked both on the US side, but also on the Nigeria side to be compliant. We want the platform to stay safe. We want the platform to be secure for everyone. And so if your KYC was rejected, it means that you don't at this time meet the requirements for getting an account on Cleva today. And if you have like sort of any further questions related to that, of course, you can get in the app, reach out to our support team, and we can be able to, if you feel like you've been wrongly denied for whatever reason, you are always welcome to get on Cleva and reach out to us to look into it for you. Israel, you're on mute.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joseph, for that. All right, so still on Q&A, like I said, a lot of excitement about LinkedIn, and kind of we had some few debates. Kind of some people were like, you actually need a LinkedIn premium for you to optimize your profile. Some said no. So, Mr. Benjamin, yeah, so what's your take on this? Because we have that debate going on the comment section. People saying you actually need LinkedIn premium to optimize your profile for clients to actually see you. Some said that's not true. So what's your take on that?
Okay, as for someone who has gotten opportunities from LinkedIn, and I've also gotten attention from like top companies around the world, I would say you don't need premium to get opportunities. All of the things I did were free. Right now, I would say I have made technically more than $5,000 from LinkedIn, and I did not have premium. The only thing I did was just verify my account because I felt like I have started building a brand. So if I verify my account, it would make a lot of sense. But you also don't need to verify your account before you can start making money on LinkedIn. All you just need to do is find the right people in your field. The people in your field, like I said, if you're a digital marketer, stop gallivanting around with virtual assistant because you guys do different things. You need to connect with industry experts. I've been teaching people how to use LinkedIn for a while now, and they've been seeing results. People have been having the confidence to go and talk to people on the Forbes list, people on several places. Even myself, I decided to do an experiment myself on LinkedIn. I reached out to somebody that worked in Ferrari, and they replied. And we had a conversation and we jumped on a call. So basically, stop using LinkedIn as a job board, build real-time relationship, and stop undermining yourself and saying, "Oh, I don't think they would like me." No, the very first step is making a step, just taking a step. Baby steps are welcomed. And then on LinkedIn, there is no need for premium. Premium is not for everyone. Premium is not for everyone. I feel like the people that should be using premium are the people actively making tons of money. If you're not making tons of money from LinkedIn, please do not um, subscribe to premium. You could always use the free stuff. That's one thing I can um, say about LinkedIn. You don't need premium before you can make money from there.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Benjamin. I think that settles that in the comment section. All right, so also an interesting question here. Now, this person said he has been working as an admin and also a customer success personnel for a traditional company and is navigating into tech. So talking about CV, said, do I need to actually add these roles when applying for a tech project? Now, looking at the gaps in terms of employment history, some people try to not have a lot of gaps, right? So looking at that, so the person is asking, so instead of me not having those gaps in my employment history, do I need to add those roles like admin, previous roles like admin or customer success representative when applying for a tech job in its new role, like in its new career path?
Yes. One thing I would say is about remote jobs. Skills are very intertwined, right? A lot of people have the experience, the exposure in terms of like a different career path, right? But the problem most people have is that, oh, they've not really had experience in the new path they're trying to go into, and which is also an headache to most people. But I would say for somebody who was also confused like so many other people when starting their tech journey or their remote work journey, I used to do customer care, right? But there are borrowed skills that you can take from one um one skill set or one digital skill set to the other. Um, for someone like me, I could technically work in a I can technically work as a customer care service person. I can technically work as a virtual assistant, right? And you can borrow some of these skills to your other role. But I think harden your your previous experience to your CV is not bad, but you just need to show them in your cover letter that yes, I've done this before, and these are the skills I can use to the current role. But one thing there that I want people to also take note is that if you're applying to a role that is different from the thing you've done before, you need to make sure that you have a certificate to back it. You have something that you've done before to back it, right? Even if you don't have tons of experience. So that's why there's always a CV and there's also a cover letter, right? Some even go to the extent of being very intentional about their cover letter. Some even go to the extent of making videos of themselves talking about what they've done. So when it comes to the remote journey, a lot of intentionality has to come in place. Like I said, companies are not just going to employ people that are not intentional about their company. They're not just going to just employ anyone. Fine, you could have 10 years experience. They're not just employing anyone. So whatever you've done in your CV, you don't want your CV to be empty. Just put what you've done before. That was what I did. Put what you've done before and then show them if you get an opportunity to get to the interview, show them how the skills can relate and how they relate to each other and how they can help with the workforce of the company or help the company move to the next stage or yeah, basically that's it. But you don't need to keep your CV empty because you don't have experience. Put the same thing or whatever you've done before, because that's what I did and that's what worked for me. So you shouldn't be thinking too much about it. So just put your previous experience and also show that you're already working towards the particular role that you're working on. Maybe adding a certificate to your CV that, oh, you have this, because I was doing customer care service before I moved to marketing. And when I wanted to move to marketing without an experience, I had to put my certificate that yes, I already taken courses on this and this is what I did. And then my cover letters were also very detailed on what I have done before and how it relates to the current stuff and how I can borrow the skill set and also use for the current company I'm trying to work for. So yeah, that's it, Mr. Israel.
All right. Thank you very much once again, Mr. Benjamin. I think we'll have to attend to about, let's say, two more before we call it a day. But still talking about CV and since we are talking about remote jobs, some people are raising concern about Nigerian reputation when it comes to the international market in terms of applying for remote jobs. So somebody asks here, do I need to add my location like Nigeria when applying for more jobs in my CV? You're mute, Mr. Benjamin. Your mic is mute.
Oh, okay. So one thing I would say is the best thing to do in this at this period, or I think a lot of people have questions about the Nigerians' reputation. I think if you think about it too much, you're just not going to do anything. And reason why I say this is because Nigerians are earning so much money working from home in Nigeria. When I clocked it, I knew that yes, if you sit down and just fold your arms and say, Nigeria's reputation is ruined, a lot of people are making money. Like I said, you just can't fold your hands and just feel like nothing is going to happen. But in terms of location, I wouldn't say you should necessarily put your location. Yes, but sometimes it depends on the job. It really depends on the job that you're looking for, basically. If the job says it's a location-based job, you're not gonna get a chance, right? If your location is Nigeria. So the very first stage of the application, when they're weeding out the people that are not really tailored for the job, um, you would not you would not really get the chance because they would remove your CV or your application and they would send you the normal the normal letter they send to almost everyone. Sorry, if we have to move on to the next person. We hope you get better in your next search. The normal love letter they send to everyone when applying sometimes. But the reason why most of these things happen is because most people do not check if the roles are location-based jobs. If the roles are location-based job, please do not apply. Do not waste your time. You see an American job that would say American-based. Do not waste your time on that application. Just leave the application and go somewhere else. Um, that's one thing. And then for your CV, I would say you can have like two different CVs. One CV that probably tells your location, and the other CV doesn't tell your location. Or one CV having a link that leads to your portfolio. Yeah, basically it. I think there is no trick to it, especially if you're from a third world country. But one thing it remains constant. If the job you're applying to is not a location-based remote job, you're fine. If it's a location-based remote job, please do not apply because you would waste your time. I did something similar to that and I applied to more than 50 jobs that were location-based and I was getting rejected. I was getting rejected a lot of times because I did not read the description. I was just applying based off the fact that I fit into the picture of what they're looking for. I was just applying. I felt like it's a remote job. So location also matters when you're applying for these jobs. But if there is no location really injuring this particular job role, I would say hide your location if you want to put in more clarity, but I don't think location is really needed. And even your school, like when you graduated, if you're somebody who just graduated recently, please do not put um your school there. Do not put it there because you're going to really snitch on yourself because they would believe that you don't have enough experience for it, for that particular role. So just take out your school. That is it. That is for the remote role. If you're trying to apply for a remote role, just take out your school when you graduated. Just put your experience. Just put your experience and your portfolio links and your name. And then your LinkedIn link in your CV, please always try as much as possible to hide your LinkedIn link on your CV because if they're looking for more information about you, they could just go on your LinkedIn and see all of the things that you've done. Yeah. And I would say this, if you're somebody that has built your brand on social media, let's say like LinkedIn and X, at some point you would not need to apply for jobs anymore because I stopped applying for jobs in the like for the past 6 months. I stopped applying. Basically, I just try to build relationship and I cold DM people. I cold email people. I just reach out and I build connections, like I said. Because that's one of the best way to get jobs that you wouldn't even um need to go for an interview. You're just going to get the job. And even if you get an interview, you're very more likely to land the job. So if you build your online presence, you've posted, people notice your account, um, yeah, you're more likely to get the job, like I said. Um, that's it, Mr. Israel.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Benjamin. So we'll just take one or two more questions before uh, we call it a day. And I think we also have a lot of questions about the 3MTT Cleva challenge. People filled the form. So I think Mr. Joseph, you might handle that towards the end. And so Benjamin, or somebody is asking, how can I handle pricing when it comes to remote work so that I won't look like I'm undervaluing my skill? Your mic is mute, Mr. Benjamin. Sorry.
Okay, number one, in terms of pricing, I would say a lot of people are probably been taken advantage of in terms of pricing. But at the same time, this is the reason why you need industry experts and people that have worked from home um um multiple times or people that have done multiple roles working from home for companies abroad to get their insights on how much they charge and how much they should also be looking at charging. Because if you tell an international company or an international client that you would charge $5 per hour, they would happily jump on it and not tell you anything. They would take an advantage of you basically and say, yo, this is what you're going to earn. So pricing is very, very, very important because I had similar cases where my boss told me you are being underpaid. You don't want to be in my shoes sometimes. And this is what I got it wrong because I did not, when I was talking to the industry experts, I wasn't talking about pricing, which is very good. Somebody asked about pricing. If you don't talk about pricing, you might just be underpaying yourself. So you can ask them what is the range they ask for. So if you're an email marketer, right, you can technically earn $30 to $40 per hour, right? And if the client doesn't have $30 to $40 per hour, they can price it down to like $20 per hour and you can still work for that. That's still good money in terms of like working from home in Nigeria. $20 per hour, $15 per hour is still good. But you don't want to undervalue yourself to the point where you're being paid $5, $3 per hour, which is not really good because they're technically taking so much advantage of you because they would technically not even pay people like that in their own country such amount of money because they're getting similar talent or even better talent and better quality of jobs from you than even people in their own country. So you also want to be very particular or very careful about your pricing. So I would say reach out to industry experts, right? And then also reach out to um, people that work in your field and people that work from home, basically. And then they can give you like a range and see what you can also earn. And reason why reason why I think this is dicey too also is because we are in different field. I'm in the marketing field, so I know what I could be charging now because I have an experience now. For somebody who is in design, it's also relative because there are things you should probably know as a designer that okay, this thing is going to take my time, so I need to put a huge price on this, right? Because the design is very, very hard, or programming is very, very hard. You know that you need to charge more. So technically, I would always advise for people to charge hourly. But if the client is not trying to pay hourly, but don't do anything less than $700 if the work is stressful. If you've seen the scope of the project and it is very stressful, please do not do it. Um, Anything less than $700, if the work is stressful, please do not do it. I know what I'm saying. Um, you would end up regretting working for the client, even if you get the money at the end of the day. And please, tech communities are very important. Ask your questions on this type of communities. I always advise people to do that. So thank you so much, Mr. Israel.
Thank you so much, Mr. Benjamin, for your time. We really appreciate the time you you took out to educate us and enlighten us about remote roles. All right, so to you, Mr. Joseph, I think just one question. Mr. Joseph, I don't know if you're there. So if you're there, I think a lot of people are asking a question like, if assuming I use Cleva, I earn in Cleva, like my money is being paid into Cleva, is there a way, assuming I want to transfer it to somebody else, maybe in another domiciliary, another account, a traditional bank account, if that is possible, I can do some transfer from my Cleva to other traditional bank account.
Mr. Israel, if I got your question right, people want to know if they can be able to transfer their USD, which they receive, to other domiciliary accounts. So currently, no, you're not. That is not something we support. We do allow you to receive your payments in USD, and you can pay out to yourself to your own NGN account, for example. So we don't allow that USD to USD transfer into a domiciliary account, a different account like that. So, currently you can receive your payment, you can pay out to yourself in Naira in your local NGN account.
All right, thank you. And finally, I think there's some people asking about the ongoing challenge, the 3MCT Cleva challenge, like asking what's the updates, if there's any updates for them concerning that.
Yeah, I think for people like who are participating in the challenge or have submitted their names, and even like people who have participated in this session, we're definitely going to sort of communicate on next steps. We're going to pick some lucky winners. And of course, we're talking about USD, and as you know, Cleva is all about USD. So some lucky people are going to win some prizes through that challenge. What I would say though is that if you've joined this session and you're not on Cleva, definitely get on Cleva. And be able to share your participation in this webinar, online, tagging the 3MTTX Cleva challenge, and of course tag our social media handles and all of that. What I can tell you is that over the next few days, we are going to randomly select, some winners, and we'll be in touch with them. Of course, when it comes to Cleva, when we select our winners, you will know openly, because we make sure that people post about it as well, so that you know that this is legit. We actually gave some lucky winners And the amount involved here is quite huge. I don't know if Mr. Israel, you are aware of how much is involved here. But we are looking to reward up to $500. For this particular challenge. So yeah, stay tuned. If you've participated, that's a good step. If you've created your Cleva account, that's also a good step. If you've posted about the challenge, you've downloaded the banner, or you just posted about your excitement about Cleva and all of that, and you've tagged the challenge hashtag, which is CleverX3MTT challenge. Then you stand a chance. So stay glued, and we'll definitely be in touch on who those lucky winners are.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Joseph. Thank you, Mr. Benjamin, for a wonderful webinar. The excitement is clear, and I'm also excited about joining this webinar. Now, the link to the Cleva app is pinned on our YouTube channel, so you can click on Cleva, and you can as well share the link to your friends that have been having challenges receiving money from the freelancing role to as well use that it makes it easier for you to receive your pay as a remote worker. So thank you very much once again, Mr. Benjamin. Thank you, Mr. Joseph. And for our community members, thank you very much for joining us today. Do well to like this webinar as well as share it to other people that you know that this information will be very helpful to them. So, and of course, you don't want to miss our next webinar, so do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get notified when next we are having an exciting webinar. So thank you very much, guys, and do have a lovely evening. Ali, are you there? You can turn off the light on YouTube. It's still streaming.
Are you talking to me?
No, referring to Aliyah so she can end the live on YouTube. Okay, that's